A major pipeline project must shut down after a federal judge's ruling today. Details on what many are calling a big blow to oil industry efforts.
Plus, record-setting Senate race, one of the nation's most closely watched contests, is already won for the books.
And later, making the transition to kindergarten a little easier. Teachers team up to take the stress off young learners.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for trusting MTN. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Keely Van Mittendorp. With coronavirus cases on the rise, we're taking some proactive steps to keep everyone safe.
We're still in the same studio, but are adhering to some increased social distancing measures. It's all part of our parent company Scripps efforts to keep the number of cases down and our coworkers safe. Staying on coronavirus news, the state added over 30 more cases of COVID-19 today, including 2 new cases in Cascade County and 3 in Lewis and Clark County. As of this evening, Montana reached 501 active cases and 20 hospitalizations. 756 people have fully recovered. 23 lives have been lost in the state from coronavirus complications. As of this past weekend, more than 100,000 coronavirus tests have been administered in the state. Well, despite having to change things a little bit as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, the Montana Independent Living Project has been committed to helping those with disabilities. MTN's Sam Hoyle has more.
Though the COVID-19 pandemic has made everyday life different across the board, both at work and at home, the Montana Independent Living Project has carried on doing what they can to help those with disabilities. Allison Alvarez, the Quality Assurance Resource Specialist for MILP in Helena, said from the get-go they worked on securing personal protective equipment for those with disabilities to help them carry on their daily lives.
When the public health emergency hit, MILP was able to work on getting some personal protective equipment for people in their homes so they could be healthy and safe. We serve about 300 individuals in their homes with healthcare services, and so we were able to get masks and disinfectant, grocery assistance, planning for transportation.
Earlier this year, MILP received a Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program loan. The one they received was somewhere in the range of $1 to $2 million. Alvarez said that loan is crucial in helping them provide services across the region.
We were really grateful to participate in the PP loan program. We were able to keep everyone employed, keep providing services to people with disabilities in their homes, and it was just a wonderful thing for the community.
Like many workplaces across the United States, most MILP employees are working from home, but Alvarez said that doesn't mean they're not going to help people if they reach out.
We're going to keep serving people digitally and online and through the telephone. We're not open to the public right now, but we are continuing to serve individuals with disabilities and ask that if anyone needs anything that they call us, and we're happy to help.
Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
In court, the Dakota Access Pipeline must shut down by August 5th. A federal judge ruled today a resonating defeat for the oil industry after a long-fought battle with Native American tribes. Now, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg found the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers failed to produce the mandatory environmental impact report on crude oil running beneath Lake Oahe along the Missouri River when it approved the pipeline in 2016. Boasberg ordered Dakota Access LLC to halt the flow of oil until the government can address the deficiencies in the environmental impact statement that the National Environmental Policy Act required it to file. The Corps has said it will take approximately 13 months to create such a report. The ruling marks a major win for the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and environmental groups that have fought for years against the pipeline. And closer to home, the city of Helena is seeking to block an attempt to recall the mayor and 2 city commissioners. A group is currently circulating petitions seeking to recall Mayor Wilmot Collins and Commissioners Andres Holliday and Heather O'Loughlin. Now, the city filed suit against Lewis and Clark County, claiming the petitions contain falsehoods and misconceptions and shouldn't have been approved for signature gathering. The petitions say the officials violated the public's right to observe and participate in city business when they picked Melinda Reed as interim city manager. Attorneys for the city said they did give the proper notice and a chance for the public to comment before the final decision. The county argues it would be improper for them to judge the content of a petition when allowing it to be circulated. And And staying in our Queen City, the city of Helena could acquire another piece of property in the South Hills adjacent to the land it added last year near the La Grande Canyon Trail. Prickly Pear Land Trust is working with the city and the Department of Defense to secure the 54-acre parcel. PPLT would purchase the land, then donate it to the city. Leaders say acquiring the land would help them meet their goals on things like wildfire safety and public land access. Last year, PPLT and the city concluded a similar deal to preserve 74 acres along La Grande Canyon. The city has been conducting extensive fuel mitigation and weed reduction work on the land, and PPLT is planning recreational improvements. If the deal for the new parcel is completed, they'll be looking at similar actions.
This is a piece that will provide us the ability to do some fuels treatment, some wildfire reduction treatment around residences. It also helps connect public lands.
In the midst of the COVID pandemic, I think any public lands that are available to the public for outdoor recreation and mental health and well-being are going to be immensely beneficial for everyone and more valuable.
And the Helena City Commission will hear an initial presentation about the possible acquisition at Wednesday's administrative meeting.
Well, Democratic Governor Steve Bullock, who's running for the U.S. Senate, is rolling up some impressive fundraising numbers. Today, he reported raising $7.7 million in the past 3 months, easily setting a new quarterly record for a Montana candidate. The Bullock campaign said he raised that amount from April through June. It's double the previous record for a 3-month period by a Montana U.S. Senate candidate. Since entering the race on March 9th, Bullock has raised a total of $11 million. Bullock is challenging incumbent Republican Steve Daines. The Montana race is one of several closely watched Senate contests where Democrats believe they can win a GOP seat and put themselves in position to win control of the U.S. Senate. Daines had raised $9 million through May 13th and still had about $5.8 million left in his campaign account. Bullock now has about $7.4 million remaining in his account. Daines hasn't yet released his fundraising totals for the second quarter, which don't have to be reported until July 15th. Well, turning towards weather, we are seeing an increasing chance for severe weather tomorrow. So let's send things over to our Storm Tracker weather team. Grant Garland joins us now. Good evening, Grant.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we are looking at the chance for severe weather tomorrow, especially in terms of Havre down towards Lewistown and out towards Scobie and Glasgow. Looking at a high chance for severe weather. The main threats will be damaging wind gusts, 2-inch plus sized hail, so heads up on that. Also looking at the chance for an isolated tornado or two, and we're going to be looking at this starting off in the early afternoon hours and working its way towards Daniels County right around 9 p.m. But right now we aren't seeing any problems on the map. Looks great. Temperatures mild, 69 degrees in Great Falls, 75 in Helena, 64 in Havre, and 62 in Glasgow. Overall tonight in Great Falls, temperatures will fall down to around 55 degrees, which is 5 degrees warmer than what we usually see this time of year, with winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we're going to be talking about later on in the show severe weather again tomorrow. We're going to break down our chance for an isolated tornado as well as damaging wind gusts and also the chance for large hail. And we're also going to be looking at a warm week ahead. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. In traffic news, construction on a major roadway project began today. The Fox Farm Ulm project kicked off and lasts through September. The project is intended to keep the highly trafficked roadway smooth and in good driving condition and to extend the left turn lane at the intersection of Fox Farm Road and Country Club Boulevard. Now, much of the construction in Great Falls didn't begin until later this evening. However, while the entire project is expected to last around 3 months, construction on the region between Ulm and Emerson Junction interchange should only take a few weeks. Great Falls District Construction Engineer Rich Hibble explained what you can expect along these roads over the next few months.
During peak hours, there will be some increased congestion. We are going to be down to a single lane at times on the I-15 and the I-315 project, but I think in general, delays will be minimal.
And if you'd like to receive weekly project updates, you can head over to our websites. Well, the construction at Fox Farm is also on the minds of emergency officials. Great Falls Fire Rescue officials say repairs are taking longer than expected on Station 4. The main project began in January to replace aging sewer and plumbing lines, but after digging further, officials found more damage, including mold and drainage pipes that needed to be replaced. Officials are also having to ensure parts of the building are in compliance with ADA guidelines. Interim Fire Chief Jeremy Jones said crews are working out of Station 1 while repairs to Station 4 are underway. He says response times have been affected by 4 to 6 minutes. They'll be set up outside Station 4 for emergencies as construction begins at the intersection.
Staying in that part of the city, just the guys in their apparatus to be able to respond because congestion is a concern.
Great Falls City Commissioners will discuss the additional fire department funding needed on Tuesday night. Repairs at Station 1 and 2 are on hold until officials can reopen Station 4.
Well, as fireworks lit up the Montana sky over the weekend, fireworks-related complaints lit up law enforcement phone lines as well. The Great Falls Police Department said they received 105 fireworks complaints in one week this year around Independence Day. That's up from 90 complaints last year. Complaints also piled up on GFPD social media. Both city and county officials try to handle each complaint with respect to both sides, as fireworks are legal from July 2nd to the 4th from 8 a.m. to midnight as long as they are kept on private property. Montana state law also says that fireworks may not be discharged within or towards a motor vehicle or in the vicinity of any person or animal in a manner that exposes them to potential injury.
Coming up next, good food and good health go hand in hand for one Great Falls business.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
And welcome back. Well, the transition to kindergarten is a crucial part of a child's education, but COVID has limited many learning opportunities for young kids. A new book from a pair of Helena teachers hopes to help families get ready for kindergarten.
Even without a pandemic, the transition to kindergarten can be a stressful time for both children and parents alike. The book, The Summer Before Kindergarten, by Helena authors and experienced early education teachers Ashley Baresh and Emily Hankins, hopes to change that.
We really wanted to address those concerns, to answer those questions, to help those parents get their kids prepared and have those kiddos feel excited and successful and ready to go.
Hankins says not every family has the same resources available. The Summer Before Kindergarten is designed to help kids start on an equal playing field for their first year in school. The workbook comes with activities for numbers, shapes, colors, and letters. It also includes learning scripts to help parents. Additionally, the book also hopes to provide answers for many of the social questions parents have about their child attending school for the first time.
Keeping those lines of communication open with the school and the kindergarten teachers are also huge aspects that help that kindergarten transition be super successful.
Reporting from Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
And people can get their own copy of The Summer Before Kindergarten at summerbeforekindergarten.com.
Well, coronavirus kept many out of business this year, but one young entrepreneur refused to let the pandemic get in her way. Great Falls High student senior Hallie Thompson felt the need to bring back her mission-based smoothie bowl business this summer. The incoming senior introduced her health-conscious startup, Wholesome Hows, to the community last year. After a successful first season and a health crisis on the rise, she thought now was as good a time as any to share her health-based mission. She said, given the country's state of pandemic, she doesn't expect much profit, but looks forward to sharing her passion for good food that does good for both your body and the planet.
Yes, and I don't need any change.
Oh, thank you.
That is your...
All right, well, we are looking at a good chance tomorrow for some hail. I'm going to explain what this means for us as we head into the break, after the break, rather. Don't go away.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, temperatures right now 69 degrees, and you can't beat that with this view. Look at it. It's gorgeous, especially with all the colors. It looks like a deep purple there mixing in with the blues. Looks beautiful. For our friends in Helena, temperature 75 degrees. It is pitch black there. 32% humidity. Our humidity levels will rise as we head throughout the day tomorrow. We're going to talk about why. 60 in here in a minute. Looking at elsewhere, 59 in Lewistown, 64 in Havre. Out towards Glasgow, 62 degrees. Big temperature difference between Jordan and Glasgow, all thanks to the rain-cooled air that moved through the area earlier this afternoon. Now, the average for Great Falls this time is around 81. The record high, though, was set back in 2007 when it was 104 degrees. Also, year that Ratatouille came out, our favorite Disney mouse, our rat. Looking at radar, not seeing any problems. We're looking at mostly clear skies tonight, but things will be quickly changing tomorrow. So here we go. We are looking at the chance, a high risk for severe weather tomorrow, mainly from Havre down to Lewistown out towards Glasgow, where we'll see the best chance for severe weather. The main threats will be damaging wind gusts, 2-inch or higher sized hail. Also, isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out. Now, still from Cut Bank down to Helena, we'll still look at a medium chance for scattered severe thunderstorms. So nobody's going to be safe pretty much tomorrow in terms of getting hit with a form of severe weather. So I've kind of laid it out. The best chance, even though it is low, again, this is a chance for an isolated tornado, will be in the Browns. So from Lewistown out towards Glasgow and out towards Havre, this is where we could be looking at a better chance for an isolated tornado versus where we're looking at the greens. So that's why we're only looking at an isolated chance. Here's the next one. For damaging winds, where it kind of looks like you have the, I think Tim said electric tape, kind of, this is showing where we're looking at the best chance for 70+ mile-per-hour winds. So everywhere from Havre down to Lewistown and out towards Scobie tomorrow, this is where we're going to be looking at a better chance to see 70 mile-per-hour winds. Now for us from Cut Bank down to Helena, not so much, but again, where you see that Scotch tape kind of look, that's where we're looking at the best chance to see 70 mile-per-hour wind. And last but not least, 2-inch size hail, where you're looking at the Scotch tape, that's where we're going to be looking at the best chance to see the diameter of 2 inches or higher, wider in terms of hailstones. So if you're in that area, we'll then know that you could be looking at that for tomorrow. Here's why. As we go throughout the morning, we're going to start to see a cold front get closer towards the Electric City, our viewing area. Also a warm front. It's going to allow our winds to turn out of the south. And as that happens, we're going to see our winds bring in moisture by around 6 in the evening. We'll see that severe weather threat kind of already move out towards from Great Falls towards Lewistown, affecting those in Havre down and Lewistown heading out towards Glasgow. And this is around 6 p.m. By around 7 p.m., we're going to start to see a bowing action. That's going to when we see that bowing action, we start to think, okay, this is where we're going to be looking at damaging wind gusts. This is around 7. By around 9 o'clock, 9:30, we're going to be looking at that chance to bow out towards Daniels County, as well as for our friends in Canada. So that's what we're expecting as we head throughout the day tomorrow. 76 degrees in Great Falls, looking at an 80% chance of severe weather possible. Going throughout the week, we will be looking at temperatures on the rise, though. 89 degrees by Saturday, so a really, really warm day. For our friends in Helena tomorrow, looking at a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe. We're going to be looking at temperatures warming up to around 86 degrees, though, by this weekend. Back to you guys.
Coming up, CC and I enjoying the great outdoors, looking to bring you the top moments of the week in this week's Game Changers.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
And welcome back. Well, July is a big month for the full return of sport. Some leagues are coming back. Others face big decisions for returning to play. In the meantime, MTN's Tom Wiley and his trusty co-anchor CC are back with another edition of Social Distancing Game Changers.
Hey everybody, hope you had a safe and happy Independence Day weekend. CC and I enjoyed the fireworks, but there were a lot of cool moments from the past week. We'll take a look at the last 7 days to find our favorite moments. A successful 4th of July saw fireworks in the air across the Montana skyline. A pandemic can't crush the Treasure State's patriotic spirit. At number 4, Helena Boy Scouts raised a flag on Saturday to celebrate Independence Day at the Old Glory Landmark. Now, this is a tradition held every year, but this year's festivities were canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but Troop 214 stepped in and held a special ceremony. At number 3, nothing says July 4th in Montana like rodeo. Despite numerous cancellations across the state and the country, several small rodeos in towns like Big Fork and Ennis let them buck in front of socially distanced fans. At number 2, Black Eagle made the best of a difficult situation with a reverse 4th of July parade. Over 22 floats and cars lined up on Smelter Avenue, and the community drove by in their cars to wave. At number 1, Helena Senior Living Community Touchmark held an Independence Day parade of their own. Residents gathered in front of the American flag out front of the building and sang the national anthem, later parading around the facility with flags. You can't keep this hardy group down. We love to see your video, folks. Just send it to us in an email at homehighlights@krtv.com. Cece and I go through the footage, try to feature it every week on Game Changers. Reporting from the Missouri River, Tom Wiley and Cece Wiley, MTN News.
Well, Montana State football starts back up on July 13th as they prepare for the 2020 season. MTN's John Miller caught up with one of the running backs who's making an impact both on and off the field.
Montana State University redshirt freshman Jahari Martin has had quite the offseason. One thing he has had to do is get used to Bobcats' new running backs coach Jimmy Beal.
We didn't get to have a chance to have a spring, so I'm still anxious to see his coaching style like on the field.
Martin considers himself a power running back, but Beal wants him to round out his game.
He wants me to be able to catch out the backfield, do all the inside zone, outside zone, just like any ordinary back too.
Learning to adapt his game is nothing compared to what happened to Martin in early June.
It really was like flare of the moment thing.
Martin found himself making a speech in response to the death of George Floyd in Aberdale, Florida, 20 minutes away from his hometown of Lakeland.
I would have felt bad if I didn't at least protest during this time, say something.
After missing the protest in his hometown of Lakeland, he knew that he could still use his voice and platform for good.
I'm a prominent figure in my community. I don't say a lot and I don't talk a lot, but I know when I do, people listen. I just took that as an opportunity to let people hear my story.
Martin discussed being racially profiled when he was 11 years old.
I'm riding my bike home from school. I'm locking my bike up. Police officer happens to pull up. He asked me, am I still in the bike? Do I live here? Because that was my first time of getting racially profiled.
And for that, the leadership at MSU commended him.
A couple of my administrators actually reached out to me and commended me for that. Coach Choate, he always pushes us to speak our minds, because we are, at the end of the day, we're all people, and our opinions do matter.
With 4 years of eligibility left, this isn't the last you have heard of Martin doing good on and off the field.
Me and some teammates have put some ideas in the air, but nothing really in motion yet. I kind of want to wait till this COVID stuff clears up.
I've seen my peers get shot down.
In Bozeman, John Miller, MTN Sports.
And we'll be right back. All right, that's all the time we have. Remember to stay weather aware tomorrow, right, Grant?
That's right.
Yeah, keep an eye to the sky. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night.
Good night.